to this, okay, these are the reasons for public expenditure. Okay, um, with the uh, with the good public expenditure, or how to say, government spend, okay, the public expenditure because they have this rationale, okay, why they spend on this much and why they spend this on this much. Okay, they have like kinds of like benefits, not to mention that every of the sector is not important. Okay, they try to make sure every of the scope that you learned just now, like economy, defense, grant, subsidies, the exploitations of natural resources, all of those areas are very important. But the rationale of behind it, or reasons why the government spend, okay, because the first one, they would like to manage the fund. Here one, okay, they would like to management of the fund. uh, we already learned in chapter 1, the article 97, the consolidated fund. Okay, we have three types of account. We have the revenue, trust, and loan. Okay, so we here refer to government. Government must ensure, okay, that all the resources will be managed, okay, properly. Okay, so that's why we have the public expenditure. We need to make sure that we manage the fund effectively and efficiently. We cannot spend it just like that. Okay, we need to manage whatever we have it. And we also would like to increase the social awareness. Okay, so we cannot spend according to what we feel like we want to spend it. Okay, that's why you can see every year the budget is different, and it's according to the demands at that time. Okay, like now, okay, we have this severe pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, and you can see how it's affected the whole of the aspects, not only economy, social, tourism, all of the sectors are actually affected. Again, how government are trying to bring back, to boost back the economy and the capitals, to make sure the cycle of the economic runs as what it should be, because we don't want to have the recession or economic crisis. So we want to make sure the citizens are aware why we need to spend according to the certain scope, and why we need to reduce, and why we need to spend more on the certain area on the specific conditions. Okay, um, and not only that, we like to meeting the defense needs. Okay, this is very important as well. In the area of defense, we want to make sure that we have the sovereignty are protected. Our country are protected from any intruders or any challenges who actually challenge our sovereignty. So we want to actually upgrade or strengthening it, especially the area for the intruders to invade our country. So we need to focus on the defense as well, to make sure all of the sovereignty of the country are being protected. We don't want to be like Palestine. We have been invaded by others country like Israel. We don't want it to be happen like that. We don't want to have some of the war like what will happen in certain countries. We don't want to have a crisis, like say conflicts and crisis, ethnic crisis. Okay, we don't want our country like to be Rohingya as well. Okay, so these are the things that we need to think about it. Another one is the welfare state. Okay, the government needs to show that the governments are the best government, the best in terms of the good governance, to make sure that they give or fulfill all the promises to the citizens. Okay, so they actually uphold the societies as a whole state, to make sure, okay, that every of the citizens are protected, the basic needs are being upheld. Let's say the shelter, the infrastructure, the electricity, okay, the poverty rate, the human crisis, let's say the good pollutions, the good air, no pollutions or harmful to the citizens. Okay, so these are the areas as well. And then we would like to make sure, okay, government like to make sure that there is some implementations of mega or prestige projects to show that the development in another way to create more job opportunities and create the productivities. And they would like to make sure here growth of the transport and communications will be received by the citizens, especially to the rural area, the accessibility of the from the urban to rural, and in terms of communication, like now we have the digital, the the IR 5.0. Okay, all are now we are going to the digital. Um so the government needs to establish a framework, not only framework but also a platform, okay, in terms of the accessibility, the infrastructure, the network, the accessibilities of the networks will make sure that everyone will get a equal access to it. And then we have the urbanization here. Okay, urbanization here. That means the populations and the developments are actually in line. So the people are developed as well as being upgraded in terms of their standard living status. So there are no homeless. There are no people are loitering. There are no crime reductions. Everyone have the job and no crime, no issues of let's say people are still are suffering from the basic needs. So instead of governments are focusing on development, but the poor people are also being protected as a whole. It's linked with the urbanization and the standard living people as well. Okay, and lastly, we would like to increase in the population. Okay, so this is very important. That's why kalau you perasan ada dasar kependudukan, kita ingin mencapai 70 juta rakyat, to make sure when we have a sufficient enough population, that means we're going to have the next coming 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 years coming. Okay, the generations are going to be regenerate and regenerate. So these are the reasons of the public expenditure. So we're going to make sure that whatever we have here, resources right now, is sufficient for the long-term populations. That mean our future, kita punya cucu keturunan semua masih lagi boleh menikmati segala kita punya hasil-hasil alam yang kita ada, all the natural resources, okay, sufficient enough for the next generations. Okay, so these are the reasons for public expenditure.